Hello, this is Ruforia, and we are going to talk about door knocking. All right. So they say that door knocking, the hardest door to get open when you're out knocking those doors is your truck door or your car door. And it's really easy to talk yourself out of going in here and knocking, especially if you've been hearing no's, getting the door shut in your face, and that'll happen, right? One thing is if you don't have thick skin, this is going to be a tough thing to get past because you're going to get no a lot, right? At the same time, once you figure it out how to go about asking and the appropriate way to go up there, and that changes with every door you knock, right? It's going to be a different story, maybe not exactly different, but you'll see how it's different as you go up, and you got to be different at the door. That's how you stand out. If I go up there, I'm like, "Hi, I'm Greg from Eagle Restoration. My company's doing inspections." You do that same old spiel that everyone else does. Well, I mean, you're going to be the 10th roofer that came to their house, or you're just going to get the same thing when I get when I can tell someone's telemarketing me and I don't feel like talking to anybody about me buying anything. I just hang up on them, and people they'll shut the door on you. No thanks, shut the door, right? So it's tough. It happens a lot, right? So you got to be able to deal with that and figure out how to get past that. However, how to overcome these objections, right? There's a lot of videos that I put in a playlist on the channel here that will on overcoming objections. I'm not sure if I'm going to make. I've got some videos on here on overcoming objections too, so I'll post some of those here. But anyway, there's plenty of resources and materials to look through to figure out how to overcome these objections. Because if you don't know how, you're just stuck at the door and you don't get the sale for sure. But if you know how to overcome these, what are the magic words? What are the right words to say to overcome these objections? If you can do that, you'll close a lot. Anyway, so door knocking, right? Now, we want to be smart, okay? We want people to know us and trust us. So look, if you go in one neighborhood, say on the northwest side, and you're knocking there and you're not having any luck, so you're like, I'm going to try another neighborhood. And then you decide to go to Greenwood and knock, right? That's a long way, right? What if you get a house down in Greenwood and then one of these houses calls you back up on the northwest side, say it's Whitestown, and wants you to come and do an inspection, and you end up getting 2 sales there, right? You might end up getting 2 adjuster meetings on the same day, one in Greenwood and one in Whitestown. They might be 2 hours apart. And then you got to rush, and you might not be effective at either one of them. You might be late to one and ineffective at the other one, and then it's just a big mess, right? Because you had to go so far. Now, let's say you stayed in that first neighborhood you were in. You just kept on knocking, kept on putting up door hangers. And then maybe the next day you went to the neighborhood right next door to them. So you're close. You're staying in that same area. And then maybe for 3 days you rotate in about 3 different neighborhoods so you can put your business card, door hanger on every door, whatever, talk to people. And then you go back through and you loop through again. And you make a map of the neighborhood. You draw it out with your hand. And you write down the address number, and you write down a note. LC, left card, or no, straight up no. Husband wasn't home. Whatever it is that they told you, right? You might say dog's name is Daisy, right? Has 3 little kids, Sarah, Bobby, and Johnny, and they like to play in the neighborhood, right? Take down notes, because this kind of stuff, this personal touch, when you remember something about somebody, they like that, right? It makes them feel important. So it raises their opinion of you right there. It makes them trust you right there because you were paying attention. You make them feel special, right? But anyway, you want to stay in the same neighborhood that you're in. You want to stay in that area until you talk to every single person in each one of those 3 neighborhoods that you're going round and round and round in until you talk to every single person in that neighborhood and get a solid yes or a solid no, right? We don't want maybes. We don't want lukewarm. We want either hot or cold, yes or no, right? And we're going to get that answer before we leave that neighborhood, before we leave that area. Because when we start putting up signs, start building roofs, people are going to start coming up to you because they recognize you. They know you because you've been in that neighborhood every day, right? Plus, it's like you show up to work to the same place every day. Now, when you have 2 adjuster meetings, they're right next door to each other or a street over. So even if they're only like 90 minutes apart, you're able to make both of them with no time or with plenty of time to spare. You're in good shape. But anyway, so door knocking, you need to pick an area that you find that you know there's damage in, find a neighborhood, right? So we'll talk about this in another video. Well, actually, we'll talk about it now, right? So look, so let's say you're prospecting, right? You're driving around and you're looking for houses with windblown shingles, right? Because right now we don't have an active hail day. So we're looking for missing shingles. So say we see one from the highway on a house in the neighborhood, so we or off the main road. So we pull into the neighborhood and then we go around. Here's what I do, right? First, I drive around. I see how many 3 tabs there are, right? I might even count them. I might not write them down necessarily, but I might. But I'll count them, right? And I'll see how many 3 tabs I can count in the neighborhood. And so if I'm doing this kind of activity, I want to do this early in the day, because I don't want to do this when people are necessarily home, right, after work, because I want to be able to talk to the people. I want to find out which doors I want to knock. So I come through and I find out that say it's a decent sized neighborhood, and there's 100 3 tabs in there, right? And I know that I saw 2 of them from the main street, just that I could see in the neighborhood when I was pulling the neighborhood, and I couldn't even see that much coming in. I saw 2 houses with missing shingles. So now, as I was driving around, the wind doesn't hit every slope of the roof when it blows stuff off. So if you're looking at, say, the southern slopes that are having wind damage, right? When you're driving down one side of the street, you won't see anything, but you'll see on the other side, type of deal, right? So, and then you might see on the backs of the houses. So you got to do a little bit more investigation to find these wind damaged houses, the ones with missing shingles. But now you write down those addresses. So now you know every address that you want to knock, and then you go back up there and you knock those doors. If they're not home, you leave a door hanger, right, with your card stapled to it, and it says you have storm damage on it. So there's a touch right there, right? You also knock the door. We might send a letter, or you might write a letter, maybe put your picture on it, right, in color, sign it, and say, hey, we're working in the neighborhood, and sign it in ink, like not black ink, it's like blue ink or something that stands out, so they can tell that you hand signed it. It's not just a stamp, right? Make it look personal. And now that's another touch. Now people are recognizing you. They're seeing your face. They've seen you in the neighborhood. They've seen your face on a letter. They've seen 1 or 2 things up on the door. Now when you knock on the door, they know who you are. They might even call you by name. That's how familiar you are. They might see, oh, yeah, you did Bobby's roof over there, and it looks like you're doing Susie's too. I saw your sign in the yard. That's beautiful when that happens. Now they trust you, right? They want to use you. They see that you are what you say you are, and that you're a person of action and integrity. You do what you say you're going to do. So anyway, that's the thing. That's the smart thing with canvassing. So you make a map. You write down what everyone says. You stay in the same 2 or 3 neighborhoods until you talk to every single person in those neighborhoods. Then you move on. And you stay close anyway. Always stay close to where you're selling, because that way people know who you are. Your reputation can just build up from there, right? But anyway, so now let's talk about door knocking, right? We don't want to be the same as everybody else. We want to be different at the door, right? I remember one time I was in Bloomington working a storm, and I went up and I knocked this door, and I saw the guy had a can of Copenhagen sitting out on his little table out by the front door. So when he opened the door, I said, oh, I see you got that Sunday chew, right? And he just laughed, oh, no, Copenhagen's cheap, blah, blah, blah. And we just made a little joke about it, whatever, but we had a laugh. And so now we have something in common. Now I didn't come to the door as a salesperson. I'm more of a friend because we had a laugh together, right? When you laugh with people, it makes you feel like you're friends, right? And so that makes them trust you and already like you, and they want to do business with you, right? So now, you might say, I used to say stuff about, people's, they had ground cover, and it reminded me of my house growing up. And my mom used to love that stuff. So I will mention something about that. Always look for something to say that's not salesy, that's outside of the script. Look for something authentic, especially if it's a compliment. You want to be sincere. Don't flatter them. Be sincere and authentic, and tell them what you really think, right? So anyway, those are the tricks, right? Stay in the same neighborhoods all the time and be different at the door, and be persistent. Most people don't buy until at least 5 touches, right? Now, we can one-call close, especially because we're calling a claim in and we're using a contingency agreement as a way to do it, right? So since the contingency agreement is risk-free, they only use us if we get the claim approved, right? They've got nothing to lose. So it's a pretty easy sale, right? But it's not the wholesale. You still have to sell the adjuster after you sell the homeowner, right? You got to get it approved. But anyway, that is the main thing with door knocking and canvassing, the smart thing to do, right? So now, let's go on now. We want to talk to as many people as we can every day. We want to do at least 3 inspections, and that way, hopefully, we can get 1 deal every day. And that is the idea, and that is how we're going to do the 30-day challenge.